What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk on a special day, on a special evening. I hope everybody's having a good week so far. I definitely am. I'm about this close to getting a new job, so that's really good. Promotion and all of that. So I'm looking forward to that. So pray for a brother. Tonight we have not one guest, not two, not three, but at least four tonight. This is the Bbtl crew, the Bring Back the Laughter crew right here.
No.
They are a group of individuals that entertain, that inspire, that encourage, that you name it, they do it. And so this week on Friday, you know, if you're in the neighborhood, if you're in the Newport News, Virginia area, surrounding area, whatever, if you want to fly in from California, whatever, you could do that too. But on Friday, bring back the laughter. We'll be having their second. Is it the second annual?
The second annual, yes.
The second annual Bring Back the Laughter comedy special show experience. I'm adding stuff to it.
All that.
I'm adding a little salt and vinegar to it.
A little seasoning.
Absolutely. They'll be having their second annual comedy show, and we want you guys to come in. But right now, we're going to talk to a few of the individuals involved in this great show. I'm going to be there as well. First, we have Miss Wendy Arrington, the creator and the founder and the brain. This is her brainchild, if you will. She is an entrepreneur. She is a recording artist. She's an actress. She's a minister. She is a wife, a new grandmother. I mean, what else? What else? I mean, what else?
Look at the Lord.
You know what I mean?
See what the Lord has done.
We're going to, for those of you who may not be familiar with Miss Wendy, I'm going to give her a moment to kind of reintroduce herself and give a little background of who she is and some of the things that she has going on. So with that being said, Miss Wendy, it is on you.
You just about said it all, Mike.
Okay.
But we're doing a lot out here. God is just so good. He's just blessed me with a vision, dreams, to create. I'm just going to talk about the Bring Back the Laughter Comedy Showcase 2 years ago. So, last year. So last year, I was just kind of in a season of, what are we doing, Lord? And so he had me to go back and get a fresh perspective. He said, go and get a fresh perspective. I was focused on the one thing, the singing. Because like Mike Robinson mentioned, I sing. I love leading worship. I love worship. And I've been going to various churches to, to lead worship and what have you. I love singing. And so that was my number one focus. And I thought it was really all to it, but the Lord said, no, fresh perspective. And so he dropped Bring Back the Laughter in my spirit. Last year, probably like the beginning of last year. And I'm like, what is Bring Back the Laughter? And he dropped in my spirit certain people that I'm always around. And my god brother here, Marvin, I hadn't seen him in a while. And for whatever reason, Lord dropped him in my spirit. Carla, Brenda, Roger, Keisha, all these people, that's hilarious. Just naturally, y'all, we're just real people, organic. What you see is what you get. But funny. So the Lord just had me kind of bring them together and ask them, hey, y'all, do you want to be a part of a comedy showcase? Never ran a comedy showcase, none of these things. I sing. So guess what? We put it on last year, August the 23rd, 2023. And it was a great success. The Bring Back the Laughter cast was super amazing. I mean, so much so. Brenda saying, Wendy always doing something together. Yes, so much so that, people are still talking about the last year event. So I'm like, God, this was all you. This was all you. So I just said all that to say, you know, if it seemed like things are going slow in your life, or you know, it's some things that hadn't manifested yet, that you know that God promised you that it was going to come to pass, and He showed you, go back and get a fresh perspective, because it's bigger than what you think. It's more than the one thing. Let's not focus on the one thing, okay? And that's what God has showed me throughout this to bring back the laughter, this whole journey, okay? And then we back again Friday, July the 12th at Calvary Chapel, Newport News, 7 p.m. So we about to have a blast on Friday. Yeah, man.
Well, you took one of my questions. I was going to ask you, you know, why comedy? Why not a concert? Why not, you know, something that you know, are naturally gifted to do and be a part of?
He was bringing forth something new. And again, when I heard him say, go back and get a fresh perspective, now I didn't know exactly what he was talking about. But when I got into my quiet time, that's when he dropped it. That's when he downloaded. And that's another thing, y'all. We got to get in our quiet time with the Lord, get in His presence, so He can speak to us about the next step. What's the next level? You know, and ironically, this is Bring Back the Laughter next level. So for this year. But I wouldn't have thought on my own to have a comedy showcase. That wouldn't have came, not for me. You know, that's not what I do. But here we are.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. What, if you could name one thing, like what has this whole thing, being an artist, you know, back to you being the whole artist thing, like what has putting this together taught you, you know, about, or has it influenced your music, like, or how you at least how you present it, like, you know, you're learning. So I see that you're doing this comedy show, you're doing like skits and stuff, so I'm sure you're into like production, and you're learning production and about sets and all these things. So what are some of the things that you learned about, you know, what goes into putting on a show of any kind? Like, what have you learned anything new, you know, that you can incorporate in your music career as well?
You know what? It was the other way around for me with this. It's like I was already prepared for the next, if that makes sense. Like all leading worship and being over music departments at churches and stuff like that. Now that I'm over this production company, actually, yeah, my production company, Kingdom Entertainment, y'all, that's hosting and sponsoring the Bring Back the Laughter showcase. He already gave me the tools. He already gave me what I need to produce this comedy showcase. So I've been already working in the gifts. So, but let's see. I will prepare. What I've learned new though, how to be. It's not really new. I will say this: what's been reminded, what came back to my memory, is that just like how I everything is geared to worship for me. It's just worship. So like even with this, I go back to when I'm leading worship and creating an agenda or the song list or what have you like that for the service. The same with this. That even I told her Bring Back the Laughter cast the other night that, you know, sometimes I get a little I don't want to call it anxiety, but get a little anxious because, you know, the first one was great. And then we got the second one, you know, the expectation is like, I wonder if it's going to be as great, you know, as the first. But the Lord was showing me that, hey, just like when you lead worship, it's all great because I'm in it, you know, and it's all going to be an experience. It's just going to be different. It's not going to be the same. So it's just, so it's nothing new, but he's just bringing it back to my mind that, hey, remember, you know, so more so like that.
Absolutely. So, Wendy, you are not the only player in this whole movement here. You have a couple of individuals on here that are helping you lead the charge. Yes. We have Miss Brenda and we have Mr. Marvin Nicholson. For those of you who may not be familiar with them, I'm going to give them a moment to kind of reintroduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what their role is in this whole BBTL movement. Starting with you, Mr. Marvin, let fill us in.
Well, what? I ain't never first. Okay, I'm first. All right. I'm all nervous, brother. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you. I mean, I was amazed and I'm honored that Wendy Arrington, which is my god sister of many years, we haven't seen or spoke to each other. And she asked me to be a part of this cast. I was kind of nervous. I'm like, all right, whatever, because I pretty much have a lot of people. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
you hear me? I have a lot of people in my job. I'm always joking around at the job and all the functions I'm at, and can't really say, but I know when I know when I was at the last at the thing, I'm a little nervous.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, this is how they are.
Can you hear me? Okay, all right. Thank you.
So tell me, like, what's your function in this in this on the show? Like, what do you do? What are you gonna bring to the show? Like, what is your role in it?
Bring back the laugh, bring back the love, bring back the laughter, bring back everything. Bring back the laugh, the learning experience, everything. It's new to me, it's new to everybody else. So I'm
Right.
not a good talker. I'm better entertainer. So I can't really can't say too much. I could just entertain. I'm not good on the spot.
How long have you been
Mhm.
doing this?
This is my first time really doing it in front of people I don't know, because I do it in front of
Okay.
people I don't know all the time. And I'm not
Okay.
trying to see like I am the comedian I'm the funny guy at my job. I do this
Uh-huh.
everywhere I go. Everybody, I'm a person and everything. So I've been doing this pretty much for, I guess, going on 48 years. 48 September.
Okay.
So I just do it because it's just part of me. But I
Okay.
haven't really done it in front of anything like this before. This is the first time on the street and everything. I normally do that cookout, do it at my house, do it around family, do it around police, stuff like
Right.
that. So last time was my first time ever doing it in front of people that I know. So and doing
Okay.
something for my sister, doing something for my family, doing something to make my face known. I guess I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. I just said what you
And so Mike, so with the ones that's a part of the Bring Back the Laughter cast, this is their
Mhm.
first time. Well, last year was their first time even performing like this on stage.
Okay.
Again, it was so organic. So all of this is pretty kind of new. Now Keisha and Brenda have been with me on stage, but not as actors.
Right.
So
Okay.
they like singing with me. So like all of this is new. Now Carla, who plays Foxy, heavy on the Fox, she is she did theater some time ago, like in her childhood. So
Mhm.
me bringing this back, and that's another thing. Listen to the Lord, because pulling these gifts out of these people, these natural abilities, we're able to use these gifts to restore the joy. Okay,
Okay.
these gifts that's been laying dormant, these gifts that they probably didn't even pay attention to, that even took no notice because it's just a natural ability. They're just funny, But God wanted to use these gifts, and so God used me to pull them, and then we created this grand showcase.
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I feel you I feel you, Marvin, on the whole, getting in front of people for the first time. But I'm telling you, like, once you do it, it's infectious, man. It's that's why, some people get caught up in it because the more you do it, the more you want to do it. Miss Brenda, um, tell me, tell us, who you are and what your role is, on in this whole movement and how you became involved with it.
Well, all right. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, outstanding. Well,
We
I
just
will
can't
be
see you.
doing. No,
Right, we can't
Wendy,
see
it's
you.
unnecessary. Yeah, it's unnecessary this evening. It's warm. You know, I'm very hot, and I'm a
It's
little
okay.
sweaty. We're gonna praise God, and I want to represent the cast well. So you got a quick glimpse of me, and we're gonna bless God for that. So I will say this. So Wendy, what I did put in the chat is always throwing us into something because the Lord has told her to pick these people. And so when Wendy calls me to do something, I show up. Just like she said, I've sang with her before. Hilariously, I had never sang in front of people before. I mean, a good choir in my shower, but never really in front of people. So when she asked me to sing with her, I was like, sure. And then people were like, well, have you ever heard her sing? And she was like, no. So there I was. And because of Wendy pulling, like she said, pulling out or tapping into people's natural talents, I served on the worship team at my church for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years because I had sang and God had opened the door for me to sing with Wendy. And it took me out of my fearful place to put me in a place where I could be on the stage in front of people. So, I mean, always kudos to Wendy to listening to the Lord for that. And so the same thing happened with this. She was like, hey, you're always posting these stories about the Bible and how you see it, and it's funny. So how about this? Because you're like Auntie Bryn, always telling somebody's child or grown adult what they should and should not be doing in a very loving and funny way, very bold. Why don't you do that with us in this cast? And I was like, sure. And then I hung up the phone and I said, what did I just commit to? Because Wendy asked me to do something again. And here we are again about to do this something new. And I just love Wendy. Thank you again for pulling on the talents of people and just what you see in people naturally. Um, you know, you encourage us to get out of our comfort zone and do it on a stage for someone else to enjoy, not just for your own personal laughter. So thank you for that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm Auntie Bryn telling stories, getting in people's business, and telling you that you need to read your Bible.
Okay, awesome. You
Mhm.
set them up
Because
for
people
me.
do. Oh yes, absolutely.
So as we go, we keep adding guests to the mix. So we just gonna go one by one. Miss Keisha, um,
Gee.
tell
What's
us,
up?
tell us who you are, and what's your role in the movement, and how did you get involved, and why did you get involved?
Okay, my name is Keisha, and I have been knowing Wendy for over 25 years. We've raised our kids together, so it's kind of I'm honored that she asked me to be a part. Number one, but number two, she asked me to be involved as far as kind of helping to put the skits together, giving them some direction. And she told me that you're funny. Number one, thank you very much. And then she said it was just natural for me. So I was very honored that she asked me to do that. And working with the cast that we have and meeting them for the first time last year, I was really surprised at how well we melded together and just bounced off of each other. So that made it a lot easier um, to work with because she knows me very well. Um, I'm not saying that I don't get along with people, but it takes me a lot to it takes me a lot to get people to how should I say for me to let them in, if you will. But everybody was funny in their own right, so it just made it very easy to let them in and let them know me and just be comfortable with them. So I already knew Brenda. And then getting to know Carla was very, very natural. She's hilarious anyhow. So everybody, I guess, being funny already and having their personalities, it was kind of like, oh, okay, you guys are like me, no problem. But just, I already sang with Wendy before, so all of that was just natural and working with her. So she calls me the skit coordinator, but really coordinating nothing, to be honest with you, because everybody is like, oh, wait, because I think we could do this. And wait a minute, why don't we put this in here? And wait a minute, why don't we? And I'm just like, okay, so why don't y'all just tell me and I'll just pencil that in. So she puts forth the ideas, and I just kind of run with it, give it a little bit of direction, and everybody adds their own flavor in. So I just kind of meld the direction, making sure we have, a beginning, middle, and an end, and we try to work with it from there. And the audience, their response to what we did last year was overwhelming, and so that's why we're back again this year.
Miss Carla, or should I say Pastor Carla? This young lady here is one person that I have wanted to get on this platform, and I'm gonna get her on this platform at another time by herself because I just got to.
Yep.
But right
You saying
now,
something, Mike? You saying something?
But right now we talk about the Bring Back the Laughter event. Pastor Carla, the same question goes for you. Like, how, why, what's your role in this whole thing? Where do you fit in, and how did you get involved, and why did you get involved?
Well, thank you for having us, Mike. This is totally awesome. And believe it or not, out of my comfort zone. Somebody would say, "What? Are you crazy?" Yeah, but a lot of this is out of my comfort zone. But I do it because I know that there was a time that um, I always played the background and was like, hey, let me just kind of shy back and let me just kind of stay back. And then, sometimes when you do that, God will just kick you and catapult you to the front, whether you want to be there or not. And so when Wendy asked me, I was kind of like, me? You want me to be involved? And so it was an absolute honor. And, um, it all started with the 70s birthday party for Rob. Um, uh, they wanted
My
me to be
husband.
the hype coordinator. I think that's what Elder Kim said. And it's just Carla. We
Yeah.
so okay, sure. And so I was at home and I was like, well, what does a hype coordinator do? And what do I do? So I came up with the character of, Foxy, and um I kind of pulled a little bit from Jennifer Lewis and Walona from Good Times and Cookie from Empire. And so just a little bit of all of them mashed together along with myself. And it kind of just evolved into, who you see. But when Wendy asks you to do something, it's kind of like you're not being asked. It's
Oh
kind
my
of like,
God, no.
it's kind of like, you know, I need you to do this. And so because, she's Wendy, you just say yes. So,
Oh,
I'm so excited to be a part of this. And, last year, as Keisha said, it was overwhelming. I met Keisha. It was at a Super Bowl, and they were the judges, and they robbed me, by the way, of that year. Y'all voted against me. But I'm not bitter. I'm not.
Right.
But but I do remember that. And
oh,
so it's
Okay.
it was amazing, and it's just been a journey ever since. And so I'm excited to see where this train is going to continue to roll on to. And I just want to be a part of it. And so I'm excited about where it's going and where we're headed. And so people need a good laugh just like they need a good cry. So
this event started out being kind of a means of like a fundraiser type of thing.
well,
right.
not bring back the laughter. Well, bring back the laughter. No. I was doing gospel, like gospel block party. You remember the gospel block party I had outside, and the worship events and stuff like that. And those was the campaign for the building that I one day I believe I'm still gonna get. Just wait on, amen. He gonna do it, okay?
Right.
But then just last year with Bring Back the Laughter coming to pass, the Lord's like, again, don't focus on the one thing. So that's what Kingdom Entertainment Productions came last year. And under that is the Bring Back the Laughter Comedy Showcase. And so we've just been moving forward with that and not focusing on the one thing because the building is not here yet. I believe it will manifest, but we're not able to walk into the building right now. But while God do his thing, the Lord is like, don't focus on that. I got that. I need you to focus over here.
So tell me this. So tell me this. If that doesn't happen, does this happen?
It's already happened.
You get, but I'm saying putting together the whole thing for the fundraiser, you creating that movement. If that never happened, let's say that never. What if that never happened? Does Bring Back the Laughter ever happen?
I don't know, because, well, you know what? I'm gonna say yes, only because I wasn't thinking of comedy.
Right. And that's my whole point.
Yeah.
Like, do you
No
think
thought.
that happens if you didn't put together this show, because
So-
this still happens?
So you're saying maybe it kind of snowballed into?
Well, like maybe the whole idea of putting together the production in order to gain funds to build this this business that you're trying to build, and it starts getting your wheels turning, and because your wheels are turning, eventually you come to the Bring Back the Laughter thing.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of like for instance, like we all have something that we do well, right? God gives us a gift, a talent, or an ability, right? And sometimes we can be very short-sighted. So like, you can sing, and you're able to write and create your own music. That's a God-given gift, right? But in the midst of that creation, you learn that you like other things. You learn that you like the marketing, you like the styling part, you like the interview part, you like all these other things. And so what God does is that He uses the gift as a vehicle to take you to the thing that ultimately becomes your destiny. So it's not always the thing is not always the thing. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's what I was kind of like getting at.
Kind of like all things working together.
Right. Did that work you into the Bring Back the Laughter? So like, if that didn't happen, do we get Bring Back the Laughter? Do we even get that? Does that even become a seed in your mind? You know, if it had not been for
right,
you know
all up in the entertainment world.
Right. All things working together. You know, you know what I'm saying? Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Yeah.
You think you still would have done it, or you think it still would have came about, or?
If I was, because you right now, I've always done events for as long as Brenda and Keisha know me. I'm always doing something together, doing something right for a long time. But these last 3 or 4 years, it's been to another level. Like when we did the gospel block party outside, I've never done that before. You know, rented out a church to do a video, and for the campaign. Never done that before. So like we were talking earlier, but asking about something new. Those were new things, although it was still with entertainment, but it was still something different and new that I did enjoy, and I love bringing people together. And I love when the Lord showed me what's not being used with gifts, and I love to pull them in, like, hey, use them over here. So yeah, that's a good question. Yeah.
Well, that's what I do. Yeah. This question is for the crew, for the Bbtl crew. Like,
Bbtl.
If you had to name one thing, personally, what has this process taught you about you that maybe you didn't know prior to going into it? I mean, I know that you guys have varying degrees of experience in this area, but maybe not quite what this is. So like, what if you could name one thing, like what's one thing that you could say that you learned about yourself? And anybody can go first.
I'll go first. I think for me personally, and Wendy and Brenda can probably attest to this, I don't have to be in the background. I have, like I said, I've sang with Wendy for many years. And at one point, she would always be like, okay, when we get out here, y'all do not stand in one spot. Like, the stage is big. move around. And I'm like, well, can I just stay in the one spot? Like, I know you've seen the ladies in the video, like they're just right there and they're, doing their doo-wop with the microphone. That's my spot. And she's like, no, the whole thing is open. If I'm moving around, if I come off the set, y'all need to come off the set. I'm like, but I don't want to, And so, and so, she's like, you're not a background singer, you're a worship leader. I'm like, no, you're the lead. No, we're all worship leaders, that kind of thing. Right. I'm like, but no, you take the lead. And so this has reinforced with not only her, but, I sing on another worship team. And, that particular worship leader is like, we're all worship leaders. And I'm like, if I hear that one more time, like, no, you're the leader, and he has the same, he says the same mantra, like, we are all worship leaders. And so with this, she's taking the talents that I have, which is what she says. And I'm not trying to be vain, but, being funny in my own right, sometimes it's snarky, sometimes it's sarcastic, sometimes it is funny, but making people laugh is, I don't want to say what I do, but what I enjoy seeing people smile about, taking when they are in that funky attitude, like turning it around and, like, okay, Keish, you did make me smile. I'm like, okay, okay, but I still need this done, especially in my work spot, what I do. So not being in the background, and learning how to be comfortable in that, whereas for years I'm like, if I could sing behind the stage with the curtain closed, I'm gravy. That's good. Yeah, I still want to be dressed up, but they don't have to see me. So doing that and not being in the background, but learning to be comfortable with being out there and moving around the stage and doing what has become more natural. That's something that has been brought out, especially last year, because a lot of people who were there were like, I didn't know you could speak that loud without a microphone. I'm like, I can, ask my kids. But yeah, that was one thing that's really changed the dynamic for me and has made me be more comfortable. Like, okay, I don't need to live in the background. So.
Okay. Anybody else? Like, what's something that you guys did not know about yourself that you learned, in this process?
Everything that Keisha just said. Times two. I would much
speak your own, Brenda.
No, it's the same, because I would like to be in the back. As a matter of fact, the trick is, if you wear glasses and you don't want to make eye contact with anybody and you're on the stage, take your glasses off, because then you can't see them looking at you and then you won't be nervous. Like, to that, let me just stand, like Keisha said, behind the curtain with the microphone, sing my heart out to the Lord. But God, why do y'all have to look at me? Like, that is so weird to me. So, Wendy bringing, what I realized, what I enjoyed, is that I really love people learning about God's word, like that, like, and then, but doing it in a way that you don't really know you're learning the Bible, because that it's Bible study. So I'm gonna teach you the word of the Lord. So that's that, I think that's the thing that I feel like I get the most joy from, that I don't realize, didn't realize that I got the most joy from, is teaching people the word of God. First of all, we're gonna give God the glory that I know the word, amen. So knowing the word and being able to teach it to other people in a way that's palpable and that they can understand it and they can remember it. Because I could hear 100 scriptures and I'll make one of them might stick. So if people can have a story actually stick, in the characters and in the meaning behind the story, I think that's the thing that brings me the most joy, that I didn't expect it would.
Okay. All right.
But if I could do it from behind the curtain, amen.
Marvin, Carla, what did y'all learn?
Oh, they already knew everything. Okay, excuse me.
What I could say, I'm gonna say what I have learned. I mean, honestly, me not being the person that that walks the walk people walk every day, because I haven't walked it. But the person that encouraged me, Wendy encouraged me every day. Wendy always say, God got something in store for you. And I could be driving my car and I answer the phone, a missed call, and she said, God got something in store for you. And that means more than anything in this world, you know. And my daughter, wow, I know Carla and Keisha and Brenda, y'all might have seen her at church, but I let my god sister know this. I wasn't the person, but my god sister know my daughter sleeps with the Bible and Bible scriptures underneath her pillow. But me being around y'all is family. I mean, I love being with y'all, around y'all, and it means a lot to me. Being around people like y'all. You know what I mean? I'm always being funny by myself, but it's being funny and laughing at people as well as y'all with different ideas, different goals, and different objectives. And I love the scene. I love the people. Honestly, I even love coming to the church. You know what I mean? Y'all bring, and Wendy brought me to church for the first time. And a long time when she did some work, when her kid came up there, and I was in there just crying and everything. You know what I mean? But listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all for enjoying. But you know, it is what it is. And look, I can't be funny by myself.
Right.
No, I got Fox and all that. I'm happy. Family, I'm happy. So Mike Robinson, like you too, brother. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, you know, and I like little boy.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying, look.
Love you too, Mark.
Been around y'all. And y'all, thanks for the encouragement. And love all y'all. I don't know what else to say. But
okay.
Salute.
Hey, you said enough. You said a mouthful already. That's hey, listen.
That's what's
There
up.
there is you know, there's a difference, you know, between, you know, especially when it comes to comedy or whatever. I'm no comedian or anything like that, but you know, there's a difference between a person that's doing stand up all the time. Cedric the Entertainer is probably my favorite comedian of all time.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a difference between that and the guy who's funny at the water cooler, or the guy or the lady who's funny at the barbecue, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. So like it's a different, I guess it's a different muscle, I guess a different, you know, different timing or whatever that goes along to it. But I think it's, you know, I think it's dope. That's the most organic form of comedy that I see. You know, you regular people talking about regular stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
But,
And this team is that so diverse and versatile because they have their own funny.
right.
No funny is the same with this crew. It's different, totally different. You know, and so the way we vibe off each other, you know, especially with the cast, because I don't do it, but the cast, you know, the way they vibe off each other. I mean, improv, they just on it. They really don't need a skit or a script. They're just like, I'm like, where's all this coming from? You know, our practices are hilarious. We're crying in practice. We can't hardly have a Zoom without crying laughing because they're just naturally in their own way. They have their own funny. It is just, it's amazing, you know, just to watch them do their thing. And sometimes it brings me to tears because I'm like, what if I wouldn't have listened to the Lord? What if I would have just like, no, I don't know what Bring Back the Laughter is, Lord. I ain't trying to do no comedy show. That ain't me. How about a concert? You know, but you know what I mean? But I had to take the risk. I trusted the Lord anyway. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I had no clue. You know, I didn't know they were going to say yes. They could have said no, you know, but they said yes. And I believe they trusted the Lord and, you know, the God in me that, hey, I trust what Wendy is saying, you know, hey, how about we try it? And they tried it along with me. And I'm so honored and grateful that they said yes, because I can't do this by myself. I wouldn't have, like, at all, you know. So it's just, I'm just so honored. Every time we show up to practice, I just want to tear up because this is their time they're sacrificing. You know, all of the practices that we have, every time we come together, every time we Zoom, every time I'm texting, every time, whatever, it's their time, you know, and I don't take it lightly.
Miss Carla, what What you were the last person. Like, what was the one thing, if you can name one thing that you kind of learned about yourself in this whole process? Because you are kind of like a different animal. Because I've seen you, and I say that because I've witnessed you on several occasions. You know what I mean? You're very witty. Like you're very like you remind me of girls that I went to school with, like girls that I know, like in my neighborhood, and stuff like that. So like this is, if you weren't a comedian already, you kind of carry it that way, like you, as if I didn't know you, if I didn't know, I would think that you do it all the time. Put it that way. So what would you say is something that you learned about yourself that maybe you didn't know prior to, in the midst of this process?
Well, I always people would say, I think you missed your calling. Have you ever done stand up? You're so funny, you're a comedian, and you want to drink your own Kool-Aid because you're like, am I funny? So, but my family, my kids think I'm corny, but it's okay because I was like, okay, so um, but I think, and this kind of sounds cliche-ish, if that's a word, but when I think of myself, I feel like I'm the every woman that Shaka sings about. I'm the phenomenal woman that Maya writes about. And I'm the round the way girl that LL raps about.
Okay.
And that's just me rolled up into all three.
That was
So,
good.
Wow.
That was good.
Did you practice that, or was that just?
Yeah, because she went last, she had time to put all of that together. That was good.
She said, "I'm going." She looked in the mirror and she said, "I'm going to kill him with that."
That was good. That was good. Okay,
I'm gonna step on their neck with
it.
Right.
Right. No,
I did. No, I thought about that today. I said, wow, I feel like I'm all of that wrapped into one. I feel like I'm able to speak Ebonics and Reaganomics. Wherever you put me, I can adjust, adapt, and conform, but I won't compromise. So that's something that I found out about myself is that, I'll adjust and adapt, but I won't compromise. So
She's a
I'm
chameleon.
great at helping other people with their vision. I love to be a midwife to push people to their potential. And sometimes when you do that, you find out that you have something you need to birth too. And so what you were saying about Wendy and asking like if she hadn't, how did we get to, back to the laughter? How did we get here? It came from just being obedient and saying, okay, I'm gonna keep going because like she said, this wasn't on her radar. This is not in her wheelhouse, but you would think it is because it's running just like a production, just like any other production. And so I'm just glad that I'm involved now because when she starts to get to that level of like the Oprah and Tyler Perry level, that I can say, hey, I knew her. I know her. And I know that, this thing is going to evolve into even bigger.
Wow.
So, and I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Speaking of that, that's an awesome segue. Where does this go? Like, is this meant to be a local thing, or like, do you have even aspirations of this going past what you're doing now? Like, what's the goal?
Sometimes I get in trouble thinking too far out because I am a visionary and I just be gone. Okay. So I'm trying to like really back in, however, it was dropped in my spirit to, well, my son mentioned it and it dropped in my spirit that, well, first, there are other local areas in the 757 that wants us there. That's asking Bring Back the Laughter to come to their city. That's number one. So that's God doing that because they're chasing it. I'm not chasing to be at these places. They're coming to me. So that's number one. So I know that's a God thing. Number two is that I see it growing to like a play. You know, we're gonna have plays and so it's gonna grow. Bring Back the Laughter Comedy Showcase will still be, but it's gonna be a bigger situation. And so this is just the beginning. Well, last year was just the beginning. They hadn't seen nothing yet. What's going to come out of these people, the cast. It's something grand. It's going to be something beautiful. Some of them didn't even know that, Mike. So.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know.
So, but it's just bigger, But I'm just like just keeping in step with where Holy Spirit want to, lead this thing. I don't want to go beyond Him. I'm just sticking with it. I'm just riding the wave. Okay, Lord, what's next? Just being focused. Just just show me what you need to do. Want me to do. Stand in His presence. Even when it comes to the skits, I pray about it all. We come to the table. I'm like, okay, my first thing I say, y'all share the ideas right now. Share what y'all think. Share whatever, and then I'm gonna take them all. We're not gonna make a decision right now, and I'm gonna lay them at the feet of Christ, and He gonna tell me which skits to do. And then I come back, okay, this is that, this is this, and then they run with it. They run with the vision, And so I'm just trying to keep it step. That's all, So we are going to play this in the future.
So speaking of like how your creative process, right?
Mm-hmm.
The skits that you do, is it important, or is it even a thought when you're going into the creative process about current events or what's going on in the world at a present time, or are you just, is that even a thought in your mind, or are you just whatever?
He makes me aware.
Okay.
Since I said yes to this Bring Back the Laughter situation last year, it's kind of like when the mantle is put on you. You aware, you aware. So I'm more aware now. So anytime like I'm listening intensely when I'm in conversations or when people are talking, and I'll say out loud, that's a skit. Or they say something fun, that's a skit, and I'll just reel it in,
So would you so what I hear you saying is that it's kind of awakened different parts of you that that was probably always there, but there was no space for it to come forth until now. And that's kind of like what I was saying earlier about how sometimes we think that the thing that we do, that the thing that we think that we do the best is going to be the thing that sustains us, or that the thing that carries us, through our life. But it really ultimately is. A lot of times, it's really it really is a small part of what the bigger thing that you're supposed to be doing. Like I said, it's just it's a vehicle, and it's really funny. Like doing this podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like since I've done this podcast, I'm starting to notice that I can engage in conversation better. Like, especially in situations where I don't necessarily know the person right in the beginning. So I feel more comfortable. I can be more conversational, and it's led to more opportunities, for me in my work, in my career, in this podcast, stuff like that. So I definitely can feel you on that.
Yeah. It's like when you're obedient, He opened the doors. You don't even have to try hard. You don't have to go try to find the venues. You don't have to. The venue that we're going to be at, they asked us to come there. I just said yes to the one last year, and you never know who's in the room. You just never know. I don't care if it's 2 people or 2,000. You just never know who's in the room. So it's always best to do your excellent, minister. Okay, like it's your last. Just minister. You never know who's in the room, and so the ones that was in the room were like, "Hey, can you bring it to this place?" And then the ones that's heard about it asked, "Could I bring it to their place?" And I'm like, "Well, my God, I don't have to chase it." So it's just the obedience. It's just the obedience.
This question is for the crew again. Now that you have done this, some of you did it last year and coming back to do it again, and as you become more and more comfortable doing this, right? Do you see yourself doing things outside of this in the same kind of in the same vein of what you're doing, but do you see yourself doing this outside of what you're already doing, what you're doing now?
Do you, Keisha?
Okay, so maybe so I guess I'll be transparent. So I've always had a dream of doing stand up in whatever aspect that has been, but that's always okay. And maybe I told Wendy that, I can't remember. We've been friends for so long. I don't know. So yeah, and I would watch like all kinds of comics. SETI, Cedric. Yeah. Yeah, all of them. Just watch them. Guys, ladies, the clean people, the ones who weren't so clean, just all of them. But I've always wanted to do that. And I don't know why, but I have. Maybe in part because, people at work would be like, girl, you're so funny. Maybe you missed your calling. Or, girl, you're so funny. You have missed your calling. And I would think about that. And I'm like, have I really? Did I? Maybe I did. So when this came about, Wendy brought to me that, there were some other venues who had asked about us coming. And when she did, I was like, you know what? I've got some material. She was like, you do? I said, I do. And I want to do the thing. She was like, you do? I want to do the thing. And I felt like me saying it was putting like, okay, Keish, you said you want to do it, because Wendy being who she is, when you say you want to do something, well, you said you want to do it. So I put you, yeah, you're going to do it. There's no way to back out of it. So like, that's something, since I've said I want to do it and I have the stuff written, I feel like, okay, I got to do this thing. So yeah, I hadn't shared that with everybody, but now y'all know. So yeah, that's one thing that I feel confident that I can do, because it's just, to be honest with you, we live in a crazy world and people do some stupid stuff. And I'm like, watching them, it's hilarious to me. And I'm like, I know if I thought that was hilarious, the way I bring it back, people are going to laugh, because I know they were laughing because we were both looking at each other laughing. So the way I'll retell it, yes, yeah, because I'm feeling some kind of way about it. So yes, I feel like I can bring it back and make them laugh.
That's funny. I got a friend. She had I don't know if she still does it, but she had a podcast set called "He Did What Now?" And when you said that, it made me laugh. It made me think about that, because that's what her whole podcast was about, doing stuff that didn't make any sense. It was like, he did what now?
And that's what you think when you see it, right?
Right.
Exactly.
Oh,
and that was going to be one of my skits. That was going to be one of my skits. Come on now, come on now.
We got a new guest. I don't know if he's been sitting waiting long, but this young man is also a part of the Bring Back the Laughter crew. He's also an individual that I have witnessed his ministry and his art. And he's definitely one of the guys, one of them ones, as the young people say. Mr. Roger McLean, how you doing tonight?
What's good, people? How's everybody?
What's up?
I'm just chilling, listening to y'all talk so beautifully. I love everything. I'm every woman, phenomenally around the way, girl. I've never dreamed of making people laugh before, but I
really okay.
Yeah, I am. And Brenda, I just want to be. I can't be behind the scenes, but I can really bring Auntie to the front. I get y'all.
Well, you know what, Roger? It's so funny you said that, because to answer Mike's question, the thing like, what do you feel like is going to be like your next thing, or what do you feel like this will bring out? So I have been told by Keisha and one of our other girlfriends, Tony and Alicia, like, you need to be doing these videos. You need to be posting these Bible stories and just putting them out there. Like, I don't care where you put them, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you put them, you need to be doing them. And so, Roger, the first night you met me, when you asked me the question, like, do you have any of these on YouTube? And I was like, no. And I was like, why he calling me out? That's why I sat back there and I was like, now look, okay, now, Lord, all right, yeah, I hear you. So that's
I
the
just
thing
speak
that
what
I
I
feel
see.
like.
I just speak what I see.
Okay, well, there you have it. You saw it. So you saw between the screen and the curtain. You saw me back there. So that's one of the things that
I am
I
the
have the room
ultimate.
set up and everything. So I just haven't done anything with it. So now it's like, all right, well, now you got to. So now
I
that
am
I've
the
said it out
ultimate
loud,
hype.
I know you're going to hold me accountable.
Yes.
So
That's
yeah,
my
so
gift.
that's it.
I'm the ultimate hype man. That's who I am.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, you are.
So
Absolutely. Times 10.
that's me. Crack a joke here and there, but you know, I like to see everybody smile too, like that the whole cast say.
Right.
Was
With
it?
you being probably one of the few individuals within that whole structure that actually does this,
Mm-hmm.
like, what have you learned about yourself that maybe you didn't, you didn't maybe know before you got into the process? I mean, so like I said, especially, you and Pastor Carla.
Hey, that's my girl though.
I mean,
That's my sister.
how do you like? What do you learn in this forum here?
Well, to be perfectly honest, comedy was birthed out of depression.
Mm.
I used to make people laugh so they would never ask me how I was doing. I
Mm.
would use it as a defense mechanism. And
Right.
so you would never know my state because I would always make you laugh first and totally get you off subject. That's what I used to do it for. And it wasn't until years later that I realized, man, I can really make people laugh just by doing silly stuff,
Mhm.
because that was my high. That's how I got over a lot of things that used to bother me, was making other people laugh. And so, it changed me because it gives me confidence. When I see somebody crack a smile. Now, I've been on stage where nobody laughs, and I had to be like, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, get off the stage quickly. But, it just depends. You have those nights where people don't laugh at what you talk about.
Right.
I mean, I put it in my ministry because it keeps me calm. That's something I use that. That's why I like laughter, because it calms me down, calms my nerves down. And, and when I play character, because I get to kind of hide behind who I am when I be a character. I think it's super cool, But Wendy got me because I was retired, to be honest. Wendy kind of pulled me out of retirement. So because I wasn't doing no type of comedy at all. So I'm very grateful to be part of this team and to see that, hey, I still got it,
Right.
So just get to have fun and put my input. Now look at Brenda. Now she's getting ready to do a YouTube channel from her Bible stories. That gives me courage.
Wow.
Maybe I make a guest appearance on there for her and be like, I knew it wouldn't win way back when.
Right.
So, she had the Miss Wesley glasses from the Cosby Show. You know what I'm talking about.
I got a side question for you and Pastor Carla.
Okay.
Do you realize that I've just really like come to like really notice this here lately. I'm a YouTube person. Like, if something looks interesting to me, I'll check it out or whatever like that. And the other day I was watching YouTube. I just got to work. Just got to work and I'm on YouTube. But anyway, that's a side note. I was on YouTube and I saw this clip about how they were talking about ministry and how you have some people who do kind of unconventional ministry. They tell jokes, they use illustrations, they don't even dress, like the traditional Baptist preacher or whatever. There's sneakers and jeans, t-shirts, whatever. And like I said, they use illustrations and examples, and they use practical stuff. You know what I'm saying? They use everyday stuff to convey a message to the people, right? And sometimes they don't even refer to the Bible, at least not in a specific sense. They may use paraphrase some things to get a message through, right?
Right.
So the question that I have for you, and what the thing is that I realize that your type of ministry is really under fire right now because there are so many. You'll be surprised how many traditional ministers and movements have a problem with the brand of ministry that you bring forth. Um, are you aware of that? And if you are, like, what do you say to that, or how do you navigate that?
Well, for me, I don't worry about what they say because my ministry is who I am. That's like what makes it relevant to the people.
Right.
They're just me. I'm not the suit wearing type brother. I'm not the tie brother. That's not who I am. I'm dressed down and being real and open with people. And I think that's why my ministry connects with a lot of people more than some. I'm able to use my life as being transparent, with the jokes. Everybody said, well, you ain't deep enough in the word, but just the other day somebody come told me something that I said a few weeks ago happened the same day. So you can't tell me, that's what get me with a lot of people. They want to judge you on about how much words you know.
Right.
Instead of just receiving the message, because the message can really bless you. Some people like it in a simpler form so they can carry out their assignment. I don't know how Pastor Carla feel about it, but that's just my take on it. The naysayers gonna talk. People they're gonna say what they're gonna say regardless. So to me, it don't bother me at all. I'm gonna continue to be me until God says something different.
That's right.
Pretty much the same thing. And what you're saying, Mike, is true because again, if you're not quoting a scripture, it seems like you're not relevant or that you may not be um you're not the traditionalist that everybody wants you to be. And so, you know, when I think of that, and I'm not trying to go deep, but in the book of Esther, I don't think that God is mentioned one time in the book of Esther, right? But it doesn't mean that he wasn't moving and performing.
Wow.
Right.
And just because you don't mention him does not mean that he's not moving and performing. And so you can, and the audience that you're trying to gather, because again, when you have people who have been indoctrinated in church for years, and they're still got a building fund, the church isn't paid for, and they're still selling chicken dinners, and they're still
All
frying
the things.
fish, and they're
All the
having
things.
100 ladies in hats, and they're still doing all this to pay off
Right.
the building. And I'm saying, but you've got people out in you've got people, partners that you could partner with in the world who would sponsor the church and give to the church, but because they are unchurched and you feel like they don't know God, and you feel like because they don't come to church that you can't use their money. And that's the problem with the church, is that if you're church minded, it's always going to be the building fund, but if it's kingdom minded, it's the kingdom. So there's a church mindset and there's a kingdom mindset. And
Right.
so mine is a kingdom mindset because there's a broader audience that we need to reach. And that's the
There you
now generation and the generations to come. And what you're putting in them and what you're giving them, people looked at Kurt Franklin like he was crazy when he first came out. But look where it's evolved to. So,
to
I
commercial.
say, yeah, and yeah, and it's like, don't put me in a box. And I'm not religious. I have a relationship with Christ. He made me this way. And, I think, for those people who look at people who do things outside the box, those are the people who want to, they tell you, hey, think outside the box. And as soon as you come out the box, they're trying to put you right back in it with some tape and
Right.
some glue and everything else and nail it shut and be like, look, we want it out of the box, but we didn't mean like that. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
they want it when they want it. And then when they have no need for it, it's like, oh, well, I don't think she said one scripture. But even
See,
though I told the story or the biblical story, just like, Auntie Brenda does, hers is an unconventional way of
yeah.
showing people that you can learn about God, not just by reading the Bible, but also hearing the story. So for those people who just aren't ready to embrace the different, because God has created us all in different ways and how we minister and how we, our platforms that we use. And so um I'm very in touch with young people, and especially like the young generation, the young adults, and with teens and everything, because I know that they can smell a counterfeit.
Mhm.
Right.
And
Okay.
when
Right.
they smell that, they will run the opposite direction. And so you've got to be authentic and be the authentic you. So when people see me, I'm the same way at my job. I'm the same way at home. I'm the same way at church. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not, but this is who I am. I am the same way wherever I go. You cannot serve me two lunches for two faces, because that's not me. I am authentically me. And I no longer make apologies for it, because I used to be like, okay, that was too much. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't have said that or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Now I haven't said it enough. So that's my
Now,
take on that.
You know
I may
what?
be. Oh, go ahead,
And
Keith.
I'm like Maya
You,
Angelou, and
I'm
still I
just
rock.
as a congregant of both the traditional and then like a non-denominational church, I think the biggest struggle that people have is they just want something that they can relate to, something that they can apply to today. And I think it's very hard to find it in the traditional church because they're so hung up on tradition, which isn't always associated with what's in the Bible. So, speaking for myself, in a non-traditional, a non-denominational church, with the examples of, the Carla and the Roger, it's easier for me to look at that and apply it to my everyday life versus in the traditional. Okay, he read the chapter, but okay, that don't fit for what's. So I need to go get saved again. Like, how many times I gotta go up to the altar? Like, I don't. That don't make sense. I need you to make it make sense. Whereas using those non-traditional formats, it's easier to reach the people, whether they're old or young. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? For people who
Yeah.
do want to have that effect or that relationship with Christ, it's easier to do that. And I think if we can just get out of, well, that's the way my mama was raised, that's the way my daddy was raised. If we can
Yep.
get out of those boxes, because they're still boxes, you know what I'm saying? Then you
Yeah.
can see something different. So I completely understand both of y'all's points. And if we could just can we just break the boxes down and put them in the recycle bin? Like that just it would make so much more sense because we're always saying, well, we want to do, but do you really want to? That's a question
Uh,
that we really
that part.
really need to
Maybe,
ask.
yeah, and
That
maybe I'm
part.
going off for a little bit. But I heard a pastor say, well, first, we just got to recognize the season that we're in. The world is
Hmm.
different, right?
Yep.
And this pastor said the other day, and he's probably about almost 50 maybe, but the pastor said that I pastor in a generation that is not the one that I grew up in. He said that
Correct.
he had to realize that I pastor in a world that doesn't look like the one
That's
I
it.
grew up
Correct.
in.
There
And
it
so
is.
you know how to shift. And
Know
I
the
must say,
audience. Yeah.
testimony as far as Bring Back the Laughter is concerned. Last year when we had it, we had half the people that came was unchurched.
Mm.
Right.
Half the people that was there were unchurched. And a lot of them called me or got in contact with me or emailed me and said that that was one of the best comedy shows they ever been to. And they've been to, they out there, they've been to comedy shows, with the cussing and all the things. We didn't have cussing in ours. We didn't have all the sexual, none of those things. And they said that was one of the best and they couldn't wait to come back. They can't wait till we do another one. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And not only that, it was ministry beyond the event because we got in contact with a lot of them, after the event to talk about their joy, to see if they still have joy, continuous joy. But about the church, they loved it and they wanted to come back. And then they was like, is this a church? Okay, I'm coming back here. We had people come back to RCC because of the event that we had.
Right.
So I'm just saying it works. Okay. It works.
I
You
just
want
know
to
how
say
to be
something?
me.
You want to say something, Marvin?
Hey, Brenda, I'm be honest with you. What you just said wouldn't make a lot of sense because before I came to RCC for the Bring Back the Laughter, I was unchurched. So you know what I mean. I went to RCC one time, never went. You know what I mean, and came back again unchurched again. So I mean, it's a difference. I know I'm talking to Pastor Carla, Pastor Keisha, Brenda, Roger, and all that like that. Even you, Mr. Mike Robinson, whatever like that. I'm an unchurched person too. You know what I mean?
New title.
I mean, I'm not trying to be like that. I mean, I just sit at the house and do my little things and stuff like that. But I try, like when Miss Brenda was talking the other day at the church or whatever, doing that little thing, and everybody knew the little Bible speaks and stuff like that. I'm one of the people when she talks, she can talk into reality and her story and tell me the story because that's a story that I don't know anyway.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? My daughter could tell me a story at the age of 12. I don't know the stories. You know what I mean? Because I'm not exactly the church person that want to just go out there and just say I'm going to church on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever days you got to go because I want to go to work, or I want to make this money, I want to pay these bills, I want to pay this mortgage, but I can listen to church people. But just for me not being into church or whatever like that is much. But guess what? I have testimonies also of the things that I've been through in my life. You know what I mean? So this right here this been a lot to me also. Be like, okay, I don't say I'm going to the Bring Back a Laughter rehearsal. I say I'm going to church. That's what I say. You know what I mean? Because that's the place that I don't go. I'm not trying to be different. I'm just myself because this is my testimony. You feel what I'm saying?
And he's a prime example.
I love Roger. And matter of fact, I'm gonna bring the you too, Carla.
Wow.
My sister told me, I said, I'm Fox for Fox here. My sister started talking about Carla. Oh my gosh, she's funny. My sister Kiki. I mean, she told me about her, and I'm like, wow, it's a small world.
Yeah, we work together.
But I'm on church.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Yeah.
Bringing me closer, making me walk into that direction because I can't been in the direction without like
that's
Come
right
on,
there.
Marvin.
That part.
Come on,
That part.
That part
That's what
right
it's about.
there.
I mean,
Yep.
That's it.
Marvin.
That's
bring
it.
See, we won't
If
let
you bring
Marvin
me
go,
into
and we
it,
understand.
bring anybody else.
That's it. That's it.
What I'm talking about,
Marvin is not
what I'm talking about.
like Marvin said that
If it's pushing,
like Marvin said that he wasn't in the church like that, but when he came into this group, we were the church that he saw in our practices and just the way we rehearsed or whatever like that. That was church for him, and so he's a representation.
Right, exactly. Perfect at what we're talking about. Perfect because you know what? You don't condemn people to Christ. You love them to Christ.
Love them to
Say it again. Say it again. You love people to Christ.
Yes.
Yeah. You show people the love. You accept people for who they are and not who you need or want them to be.
Amen.
Because that would turn people away when you're trying to condemn them and tell them that, what they're doing, their lifestyle, they shouldn't be doing this, they shouldn't be doing that. Look, we all know what we should and should be doing. We got some saints that ain't. So we know what we should and shouldn't be doing. And so we need to stop condemning people to Christ and love them, show them the love of Christ. That's what brings them in. That's a testament right there to what Marvin was just saying.
That's it.
And that's huge in these days and time. That's huge. Loving people.
It's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yep.
Because I'm around people all the time, be like, man, you never judge me. You gonna condemn me? I said, brother, I ain't got a place for that. My job is to support you and lift you up.
That's
it. Because sin is not like COVID. Yeah, sin is not like COVID. You can't catch it. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gotta get no booster. I ain't gotta get no booster shot for that.
Correct. Just because somebody's smoking, be like, I can't be around them because they smoking. What? That's contagious.
Yeah.
Oh,
like when people be cursing around me, I say, man, go ahead, man. That's how you talk. That's how you talk. I get it.
Thank y'all.
Wow.
Good.
And see, this is what I
can't hear you. I can't hear you, Rod.
About. Like I usually go about an hour, but we like over an hour. But I felt like there was more. And what you're doing, what I'm saying? I'm reiterating what I was saying earlier about how the thing isn't always the thing. You know what I'm saying? You've created this movement. God has given you the vision for this movement, and you created it. And on its face, it looks like one thing, but then when you kind of like turn it around, it has tentacles on it, and it has all rhinestones on it. It got all these different textures and different colors on it. You know what I'm saying? And you're affecting people in such a way that even people who are, they started out not churched, but because of the influence and the impact that it's making, it's inspiring people to, you know, drawing people to come. You know what I'm saying? The loving, you know, the love is drawing them, as the word said. The love is drawing them, and that's truly a gift. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what, you know, was truly amazing, you know, about this movement. Let me ask you this, and this will probably be one of my last questions. What does success look like for Bring Back the Laughter? What, in your mind, what does success look like for the movement? If you could have it your way tomorrow, what would it look like?
What would it look like?
Individually,
Well, as a movement,
I
Bring
think
Back
it's,
the Laughter as a
movement.
it's always gonna be memorable. Unforgettable.
Unforgettable.
Memory.
Gosh, what it look like? That they catch on that the community catch on to the joy. That they don't have to be depressed. That we can laugh. I think Carla may mention that just like how you can have a good cry, you need a good laugh. Laughter is medicine. So if they can catch a hold of joy, you know, that can really only come from the Lord, you know, but just to catch on, grab hold to joy and grab hold to your families and bringing them together. And that's another reason how Bring Back the Laughter came together too, in my thoughts, where the families don't come together like they used to and watch TV together or laugh together or anything, because everybody's in their own different directions, even in the house, you know, so that the community will catch a hold of the joy. Because that's what we're doing, restoring the joy. I told the cast the other day that this is a revival in an unconventional way of restoring the joy. So that the community catch on to the joy, I think that would be successful for me. That Bring Back the Laughter, the movement, that they grab hold to the joy.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I will tell the story. I have a coworker that I work with. I work in Portsmouth at the shipyard, and I have a coworker.
I do too,
She
bro.
just started working there. She just started working there like maybe a month ago, right? So we're talking, and she's telling me how her husband randomly bought her a Mercedes truck, right? And she was
Wow.
like, she you know, he does stuff like that for me. He, you know, he loved me or whatever. And she said, we got it from Hampton. And so I was like, my man works at that dealership, I think. She was like, who is that? I was like, Roger McLean. Oh, she bust out laughing, right? So I'm like, oh, you know him. She says, yeah. He was a trip. She said all he wanted to do is pray and tell jokes. All you want to do is tell jokes and pray.
And pray. Tell jokes and pray. Okay.
And so that was so hilarious to me. And it just came to my remembrance just now. And the reason why I bring it up is that, you know, you are creating, like you said, the community. You're creating a reputation and what I like to call social equity. I think that I think that's what's lacking now too. We kind of take for granted the ability to create social equity. And what I mean, and when I say social equity, I mean building relationships with people without any ulterior motives, without trying to get any tangible gain back other than relationship. To say, okay, hey, I'm Roger or I'm Mike or whoever. Good to meet you. You know, this is what I'm about. If you need help, I can help you any way that I can or whatever. And I think that what you're doing is creating, you know, that social equity. And so with the reputation that say or Roger is already carrying with himself being, being the comedic salesman that prays a lot. You know what I mean? It brings more light and attention to what you're doing. And so, like I said, man, it's really, this is, after I'm talking to you right now, the wheels in my mind are just turning, and I just realized that this is just so much bigger than what I originally thought it was or even could be. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, when I look at you, I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you, this is big. Like, what you're sitting on is not, nobody's doing this.
You talking to me or you talking to Roger?
He's talking to Roger, but I have a question. Roger, did the gentleman happen to list a brother as one of the references, and was he single? I'm just asking. If he was single, I just want to know. Because if he's just buying stuff arbitrarily for his wife, I mean, we could talk offline. I'm just asking.
Well, the funny thing is, they wasn't my clients. I was there to help seal the deal.
So you saw the paperwork. We'll talk.
No.
We'll talk.
No,
I
didn't see
we'll
the
talk.
paperwork.
It's okay. We'll talk. We'll talk.
I
don't know who's gonna watch the podcast. We'll talk.
No. Well, I'm actually talking to the whole group. What you guys are doing,
All right.
what you guys are
not
doing
saying
is
that.
potentially big, because there's nobody's doing it.
Nobody's doing
it.
that.
And like I said, as I speak to you more and I talk to each one of you and I kind of get your take on everything, the wheels in my mind are turning, and I'm realizing that it has so much more hands and feet than I actually initially, actually thought that it could be, because you're not only affecting the people that you're potentially entertaining at a given time, you're affecting the people that are
involved.
You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
are in it. You got people, coming to church that weren't coming to church. You know what I'm saying? You got people who will know your name. Will know your face at this point. You got
that lady
Miss
came
Keisha,
back to
like,
the dealership.
you got her thinking about going on the road. You know what I mean? So, like, it's you're kind of doing what In Living Color did back in the late 90s.
Ain't that what I said? That's what I said, y'all. Mike, that's so funny, because in the last year I told them that bring back, when I was trying to explain what Bring Back the Laughter was, like the showcase, that it's not like stand up. I was like, no, it's like In Living Color. We're doing skits like In Living Color. That's exactly what I said to them last year.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We just changing up the characters, but same characters, just different skits. Yep.
That's amazing. Well, you guys, I'm not going to hold you any longer. I just want to be respectful of your time, but I want to ask you all a question. It's a question that I ask all my guests, and I just want y'all to take a moment to answer me as concisely as you can.
That means quick.
The question is this, guys: what would have to happen in your life, if it hasn't happened already, for you to consider your life a success? What does success look like for you specifically? And this question is for any and everybody.
If I could figure out a way to live and do this and like actually, oh wait, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
If I could figure out a way to do this, like, well, first of all, I haven't even done this yet, so whatever that is, but to be able to tell God's word and to do it in story form and to be able to reach, kids, teenagers, have or older people, and have them learn the word of God in the way that I do storytelling, and be able to have that be like my job. Oh, that to me would be success.
Is anybody
People,
saying
like
anything?
lives coming to the Lord, people coming to Christ.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
That's me would be success.
That's amazing.
Wow.
I think success for me would be that people see things like this, like Bring Back the Laughter, as a ministry tool. As you said tonight, Mike, you were thinking, okay, this is one thing, but when you peel back the layers, you actually see that this is truly ministry. There's a lot of us who, we're laughing, and some of us are laughing to keep from crying, and some of us are crying to keep from laughing, and but this is a ministry tool. This is just one of many ways to reach those who need to be reached. And I always want to be a part of something that's going to be reaching people and teaching people about God. So count me in.
Mm.
Yeah. I think success for me is that I want to be able to affect the whole community. I can go here and there, different states or what have you, but my community here in the 757, if I can do as a full-time job, kind of like Brenda, as a career, this entertainment thing, production company, and be able to run it and have my own buildings and everything, like we can do our own thing in our own spaces. I think that would be success for me, where we are doing what we love to. Well, I'm doing what I love to do, and it's affecting my whole community in a positive way.
Well, if I could change one life, that's success to me. Just one life. To have that one person come back and say, "Man, that did something for me. I'm winning."
Amen.
Because I really don't put a cap on success anymore. I stopped putting a cap on it. I just look at it, if I could just change one life, that's all I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
In a positive way, like Whitney said.
I can only co-sign on what
What the
everybody
change
said.
success for me is to bring the where the change.
Did it say Margaret?
Go ahead, Marvin.
What would change success for me is the people who hang around with me that never been in the church and never want to go to church and always talk bad about churches and stuff like that. There's non-believers that can't be believers. For them to come to our shows and everything like that, which I have happening, to bring them to church and let them get closer to God, because there's a lot of people that I'm around that's not close to God, and they feel comfortable around me because I sit at the house, doing me sometimes. So that'd be a success for me, to bring people closer to God, and just as well as myself. That's success for me.
That's what's up.
I don't know how y'all look at it. I don't know what to say no more. That's success for me, though, to bring people closer to church.
That's good. That's good. Yes.
You've been pouring out,
Yeah,
man. You've been pouring out. You definitely
Yeah,
been pouring
man.
out. I'm picking up what you're throwing down, brother. I'm picking it up right now.
That's what's up.
Now let's go to Wendell's and get us a biscuit, man. Come on.
Keisha ain't said nothing yet. Well, she was about to.
No. All I said was that I can really just co-sign on what everybody else has said. I think success to me right now is just fluid. So I'm just gonna co-sign.
Like water? You said fluid?
Yeah,
Yes. Right now for me, success is just fluid. So I'm just gonna co-sign on what everybody else has said right now.
Well, like an IV or something?
Yeah, you know what, Roger?
Just going with the flow.
Yes.
Going with the flow.
Thank you. Foxy, I appreciate that. Just
Got it.
there's always one. There's always one.
I just co-sign with that. That's what I do. I just co-sign.
Oh God.
This is what we deal with, Mike. This is it right here.
All the time. All the time.
So for me, I always say this: success for me, and Carl, I want you to listen to this because I wrote this too. So my success for me is bridging the gap. You listening? Bridging the gap between what I'm supposed to be doing and doing it.
That's a whole word.
That's
My
that's for you.
goodness.
That's for you, Pastor Kyla. That's for you. I wrote that.
Mm,
I wrote that.
Bridging the gap
Woo.
and what I should be
So
doing,
bridging the
and what I'm
gap
supposed to be
between
doing.
What I'm
what
supposed to
you're
be doing
supposed to be doing.
and doing
Mm, that's a whole. Oh my God.
Coming on a Honda.
Woo.
it.
Mm,
Y'all are
I
deep
like.
tonight.
I mean,
that's
If I'd have
good.
known,
bridging
I'd
the
have been
gap.
prepared.
That's
I didn't know.
I'm about to bust out a song off of that one.
I would have wrote some
Um,
stuff too. I didn't know.
that's good. And if you hear it again, I'm gonna give you credit the first couple of times.
hey, I
So
ain't getting
I
no
give
credit.
y'all permission also. Just give me credit about the phenomenal, the roundaway, all that Just
That one was really deep
then
though,
you can get.
Carla. I like that one. That one was good. I
And
might use that at
she
work
came in deep
tomorrow.
with that too, all serious.
She
I'm like,
did. She
She
did.
like,
you meant for us to hear
I went
that.
I
to
think
Maya.
it's so funny that
I
you
went to
use that
Maya
Now look,
song.
at
if you
phenomenal.
can use that on Friday, I might not be able to
No,
hold
I'm
myself
already using
together.
it. I'm already using it on
I'm gonna
Friday
I'm gonna
because
put
that's
that
what I
in.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Now, if
get
I
that
can
in
hear
there.
it twice, if I can hear it
Hey,
twice on
especially if
Friday,
she
somebody
actually,
might get
yeah,
$10.
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah,
tight.
yeah.
I'm gonna do that
That'll be
during the
tight.
So we
interview, or
got
either
Mike.
on the yeah.
I gotta make sure I
Be
can
like,
hold myself together.
I'm phenomenally.
Now, Roger, you can't use it.
I ain't trying to use it.
No, you can't
He
use
said,
it
I'm
phenomenally.
phenomenally.
Yes,
I'm a
you can't use it
phenomenally.
Friday. No.
Now I got something else for you on Friday.
Here we go. Here we
Uh
go.
oh, here we go. Y'all better be there Friday night, y'all. Friday night, July the 12th. Be
Where?
there.
Where's it gonna
7
be? Where's it gonna
p.m.
be?
Doors open at 6. Calvary Chapel, Newport News. Be there. It's on Eventbrite. Get your tickets. Bring back the laughter. We're going to have a blast on Friday night.
Yep.
Can't wait to see you there.
Absolutely. Well, you guys, I want
Yeah.
to thank you for coming on the platform. Consider this an open invitation. I think Roger and Wendy are the only ones that have been on before. But
Yeah.
Oh,
this is an open invitation to come on anytime. I gotta get you, Pastor Carl. I gotta put an STA on it. I got
you got to.
to.
Whenever you ask, I avail myself. You just let me know.
I love that.
I'm gonna tell you now, Pastor Carla is one of the funniest people I know.
Yes.
But she is so real with it. I mean, that's
Out this
why her
world.
ministry flows. That's why her ministry flows the way it flows, because she's one of the funniest people I know, and she keep it real.
Absolutely.
I mean, only thing she left out was sucking on a lollipop at the bus stop. That's all she left out. But that's what makes her flow, man. And I love how authentic she is. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Thank y'all. I just love the cast. I love the cast is now family. So, we family now. Whether we want to be or not, we family. And so I just see this thing, we off the chitlin circuit now. We on to something bigger. You see what I'm saying? We evolving.
Hey, did they tell you they got to pay me in ones?
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna behave.
Mike, I'm gonna close us out because, child, we could be here a whole nother 2 hours with this cast, honey.
Yes, and I have to work tomorrow. I still have bills to pay.
You are too
Nobody
much.
bought me a Benz.
They
Y'all
got
are
to
too
pay me
much.
in ones. They got to pay me
Y'all
in
are
ones
too
on the
much.
chitlin circuit.
But again, I wanna thank y'all for coming on, and like I said, open invitation. Anytime something you want to put out or promote or talk about or whatever, consider this an open invitation, a place where you can come and express what you need to express, and no judgment, no, none of that. That's what this platform is for. And again, I thank you guys. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you for Miss Brenda, Keisha, and Carla, and Roger, and Roger and Carla. I don't know if this is traditional. It makes my skin crawl to call y'all by your first name. It
I
bothers me.
know.
So
But
can
please,
It really bothers me.
it's okay.
Hey,
That's part of that
call me by my
tradition.
first name.
Right. But here's the thing. When I hit the pearly gates, he ain't gonna say that.
Right.
It's
Right.
daughter. It's son.
Yeah.
So come on, somebody.
And I'm trying to make sure I get in. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. That is
Lord.
Yeah, that's something I definitely got to do. Like, do y'all know that I can't call Apostle Charlie and Prophet Vicky PV and AC? I can't. My body won't
I
let.
can't do that either. I can't call them AC. I call them that. I don't do AC and
Right.
PV. I don't.
Yeah, I can't. My
Is that
my
piping?
throat won't let me
Like
say
the
it.
PVC piping? Or
Right,
who are you talking about?
Pastor
No,
Charlie. I mean Apostle Charlie, AP and
Oh, okay.
PV.
Those are okay. I didn't know who
Their
they were talking
initials.
about. I'm
And
so sorry.
everybody, I
yeah,
don't need. I always
Sorry.
call them by their full name.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's my throat won't let it come out.
It's
It
his
won't let.
throat.
But
Dope.
that's totally
I didn't know
like
your
that's a whole
throat
nother
was your
issue.
vocal cord.
Yeah.
But
But we good here. You can call me Carla because I'm good.
okay.
You can
Just don't
definitely
call
call
me
me
Colette.
Roger. I ain't gonna say nothing.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
you can call me collect, but you're gonna pay me for it later.
Right.
Mike, you gonna have to shut this down, bro.
Right. Man, get off my screen.
Good night, y'all.
Good
Thanks,
night,
Mike.
love.
Good
Good
night,
night.
y'all.
Bring back the laughter down.
Y'all are too much.
Oh my goodness.
Too much. Too much.
Oh
Too much. There you go, guys. Listen. I had to cut it off. We could have went a whole another hour or two or three. Shout out to Wendy and her whole Kingdom movement. Pastor Roger, Pastor Carla, Miss Brenda, Miss Keisha, Marvin, and the whole Bring Back the Laughter movement. Please check them out. Come out to the concert or the event, the movement, the experience on Friday at Calvary Chapel. If you're in the area, please come out and support these great and talented and funny individuals. I'm telling you, they are amazing, amazing, amazing people. And you're definitely gonna get more than what you bargained for. So come on out, man, and be blessed for real. Like, that's not even a cliche. That's not even just saying something, but come out and be blessed for real. And like us always tell you guys, if there's something that you feel that God is leading you to do it now. It's time. Walk in it, be it. Write that script, get that degree, write that song, tell that joke, whatever it is, get that job. It's time to step out and be that, because there are those that need you. We need you. There's a remnant of folks that cannot receive unless it comes from you. And so therefore it becomes bigger than what you think it is. It's more than what you think. So just keep, God first, and allow him to minister to you and allow him to lead you. And where he gives you vision, he will provide provision for what you're trying to do. With that being said, man, what am I saying? With that being said, I'll see you guys this weekend. And let's take a walk.